say, did you miss me? But I think it's a bit of a vain thing to say. I can tell you what though, I missed you. I had a look when the last Friday sews, Sunday sews I did was, and when I'm recording this on Wednesday but not releasing it till Friday, I realise it's already been 10 days. Doesn't include like my pre-recorded or the social, but by the time this comes out it will have been, I think, 13 or 14 days since I've talked to you, and I know that's not very long, but it does feel weird. It feels weird that I haven't done this, and it also feels weird that I haven't been interacting with you and chatting. But I'm here, I'm back. I have a notepad because part of me taking the little mini break, and thank you to people who commented on my community channel where I shared you a little picture of something I've been making. It was lovely to have you connect there. Part of me being away was doing some planning and some thinking and some organising, and yes, so let's start with the fact that the Sew Live gathering went live, and at this point when I'm saying this today, 23 tickets have gone. I've had a useful bit of feedback that for people in Australia it would be the middle of the night, so I'll do one another time in the morning, so that's good to know. But yes, lots of you going to be coming to the virtual social. Great news, Christine and I had a chat on the telephone and I'll tell you more about it, some plans we've got. Today I'll do some small channel shout outs, I'll show you some things I've been up to, some things that are coming. So it is like a catch up with a friend. You know when you haven't seen a friend for a while and you just chat and suddenly the time has gone by? Well, that's what this feels like for me, and I hope it feels like that for you too. And the great news is that coming soon after this will be my version of the vlog tour of #longsleeve23. I'm also going to be doing later on in this month #sewupcycle23. You know how much I love an upcycle. And then in November I'm taking part in #a gift for November as well. So you're not going to be able to get rid of me now I've taken a little break. Let's start with small sewing channels. Now you know I have to write these down because I like to get the names correct. I'm going to do 2 today because of the fact that I've been away a little bit. So I'm going to start with Mountain Accents. And Mountain Accents has been going a while. She's got a good range of videos. So if you like when you find a new person to have a sort of little binge watch, I love to do that. This is a perfect one. She's got lots of Friday sews up. So you might have already found her through Friday sews, but if you haven't, this is another way to find her. And can I remind you, when we're helping out the small sewing channels, you can share it too. If you're a small sewing channel or if you're someone who wants to shout someone out, and it doesn't just have to be on YouTube, you could do it over on Facebook or on Instagram. The more we share and use this hashtag, the more people will find other people and we'll beat the algorithm. We'll help people to find people they want to watch and listen to and make sewing friends with. But also when I'm shouting these people out, what really helps them to get noticed as well, because people put a lot of time into their recording, everything, is please like, please subscribe, please comment. I now have a little schedule for myself because I do a lot of watching and sometimes forget to do the liking and the commenting because life gets busy. So I'm reminding myself once a week just to make sure I do, because that's the way that YouTube knows that people are interacting with that person's channel or that person's Instagram, and helps the momentum for them. Because as I say, people are at home putting a lot of love into these, and you do brilliantly at interacting with me. Please help me to do that with as many other people as we can. And then the other lady I'm going to mention today is Stacey of Stacey JS Studio, who's a lovely Australian lady, and she's got lots of videos you can watch. She's done a collab with Julie Sews Her Own Clothes. She does all sorts of things, including like little chatty videos. Like she had a Wednesday hump day chat one the other day. Her studio looks amazing, which she films it in as well. So 2 great channels where you can really get into their ideas and their sewing and watch and sort of get to know them. So they're my 2 for this week. I'll of course link them below so you don't have to try and search them. You can just click straight through. Right, what shall we do next? Well, let's have a look I think it would be great to tell you something exciting that's coming. So I did a thank you vlog the other week where I had some lovely comments. I just wanted to take a moment. I think it like kick-started me then taking a break, actually, just having a moment to reflect. And it was really lovely to hear people's feelings on my reflections. And while I've been on my mini break, I've thought about what I want to do with that. I know some people, when they get to 1,000 subscribers, do a giveaway and things like that. And I've been sort of thinking about how it all connects to my sewing socials and things like that. And what I've decided is I've received the prize from Little Miss So and So of the Ready to Sew box, and it was a lovely gift, and I decided I want to do a giveaway to say thank you. Rather than for reaching a certain number or anything like that, I'm going to do a thank you giveaway, and I'm going to give that away. So I'm not going to show you what's in it yet, and I'm also got some other bits planned. So not today, but just looking at my plans, but next week I will do all the details about how you can take part and what's coming. But I just want to give you a little sneak peek that there is a thank you giveaway coming for just being here in my creative journey and interacting with me. So watch out, it's coming. As I say, tomorrow you can watch my version of the hashtag long sleeves 23. I've planned it and I'm going to hint at a few bits today, but you'll get much more detail in that. And it is following on from my autumn and winter sewing plans, I'm pleased to say. Nothing like where I've just binned all those and moved on. It is like a nice continuous conscious journey, so I can go into more detail with you. And I've also thought about things like free patterns and things that for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere will be useful, that you could hack from patterns you might already have rather than about buying more things. So that is coming tomorrow, and so as I say, I'll dip my toe in there, but you get lots more details for that. Lots of lovely people came to the virtual event we did for the how to set up your own social. So next week as well, I'm going to release the recording of that, so you can watch it as if you were there, and you will want a cup of tea because it was a good long chat, but that's going to come as well. And then of course next week as well, I'm going to do my part in the vlog journey of the sew up cycle. So again, there might not be something I mentioned today because I'm saving it to tell you there. But there's still lots to tell you about today, don't worry. First of all, I showed you this pattern before I went on my mini break. It was a vintage pattern I found in a charity shop for £1 with 4 different waistcoat patterns in. I cut out this one, obviously didn't do the embroidery on it, but I cut that out of one of the blankets in the thrifted sort of gifted haul that someone gave me a while ago. Put a picture in here. So I've made the first one, and it's interesting where the darts are in it. I'm not sure what I think about that, but it's definitely a good start. So I'm going to keep evolving that. I love that somebody's suggestion was to quilt it, like almost just so so if I did like a lining, it would sort of join them together. So I'm going to do more. I'm going to test them out, but good news is I have started that. And then I went to the Oxfam Superstore in Oxford the other week, and I did pop a little picture of these on my Instagram stories, but I found some brilliant patterns, particularly going with my theme of details. But if you are of a certain age and from the UK, you probably remember a very, very long time ago a BBC daytime programme called Pebble Mill. It was sort of the 80s and possibly 90s version of This Morning, and I don't know elsewhere in the world what you have, but I'm sure you have like daytime chat shows where they have like a cooking slot and like they chat to celebs and things like that. Well, I found a Pebble Mill sewing pattern. I had to get it because of this jumpsuit here. I mean, look at that, and look at the line drawings. But I also needed to get it because I was just like, blown away by the fact that a TV show, and it's even got BBC on it, released pattern. So I am going to look into that a bit more. But it is a great looking pattern as well, and it's multi-size, so it can't, I think I did find it 1986. So that was just a sort of nostalgia purchase. I picked up this dress, which is a butterick. It's a butterick, I think, from the 90s, 4387. But I really liked this sort of panel for the long dress. But look at that pocket on the back there. That's a very odd detail, and it's even on the line drawings. But I really liked the sort of panelled element. I know, you know, if you've seen my other one, I'm on the search for a good shirt dress. Well, this could be an interesting one because it's all one thing rather than a waistband. Just popping these out the way. Then I found this one, which is a Vogue Easy Options V8413. And I really like this cow neck here. That would be a great work dress, but also that I was thinking in like a sweat, in a jersey fabric. I don't know if it says you can use jersey fabric. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, interlock knit, lightweight flannel, double knit. So yeah, so I thought there was some great in here, like you could make like jumper dress type thing with the big cow neck, that sort of thing. And it is about those details, isn't it? Like nice little bits like that and that, just to really help. Then I found this one, and this is a pure 80s dream. This is a butterick one, 4812, and it says, yes, it's easy. And it is from 1987. And you just need to take a moment to look at the back of that dress. Look at that. You could probably wear it the other way around. That's very patina blouse style, that bit. And I love that this panel in here where it's fitted and then flares. So I just really like it. It is a multi-size pattern as well. Now I always have a sneak peek to see, and I saw that this one had been cut, but I saw what size it had been cut to, so I knew I was okay. It is always a risk that there's a piece missing, but you know what, it's worth it for £1.99, because even if I get some ideas from that, some construction ideas, I think it's worth it. I couldn't resist that. And you know what I've been talking about details, that's just fantastic, isn't it? Now the last one, now I saw a Laura Ashley pattern from the 80s. It had amazing like frill collar and things, but it wasn't the right size, so I didn't get it. I thought someone else can enjoy that. But this last one is exactly what I've been talking about fantastic details. I think it's a simplicity. It is another 80s one, I believe. It's Simplicity 8742. I did find the year, you know I love a year on them. Probably should have had my glasses off this, but I'll find you the year later. But let's get ready. Look at this. Now, I don't particularly like that with that. It's quite good, but look at that one there, look. That is just fantastic. When I'm talking about these details, all in one colour, so you get the detail without it standing out. Look at the collar. Let me just show you. Oh, the line drawing is just the back. It's got release, I think they're called release pleats on the back. It looks like it's got a yoke as well. I think it is a little bit bat wing looking at it, but easily solve that. But that is exactly what I was talking about. This has never been cut. So very excited. This is about 40 years old. So I can't wait to make that up in like a nice, you'll see a fabric in a minute that I think would be great for that. I also found, while out and about thrifting, 2 fleece blankets, really big. If you saw my episode 41, I showed you a t-shirt quilt that I'd made, and I said I would need to reback it. I think one of these would be perfect on the back. It's super soft and it would just create that nice uniform back. Right, let's just get all the patterns out of the way. What shall I do next? Fabric? I know, I thought I was on a fabric band. Well, we'll talk about that. Fabric or makes? Let's do fabric. So several people messaged me because I put a couple of pictures up on Instagram the other day of some fabric rolls saying guess where I am. And yes, I was in JB Fabrics again. and I was in JB Fabrics because I was buying the raffle prizes for the next 2 in-person socials and the virtual, which I'll tell you more about in a minute. But I took some pictures of some of the lovely fabrics. I haven't said which ones I've got, so you'd have to wait and see. But someone said, I thought you was on a fabric ban. Well, thank you for the support, and I've really loved everyone's support in keeping me going with the fabric ban. But up on my calendar popped the other day the fact that my fabric ban is actually over, and it was over about a week ago. So as we know, I didn't quite fully achieve it, but that's okay, because the point wasn't to be overly hard on myself about whether I did or didn't achieve it. It was about pushing myself to think about what I was buying and not panic buying because I thought things would go, and also to buy more plains, because remember, plains was never part of the ban. So the good news is it has pushed me with the plains, and you'll see that from some of the sewing I've got going on. Some, not all, but also I've got a purchase that's on its way, which is all plains. You will be amazed. And also I'm now trying to shop in person, so that's why I was at JB Fabrics the other day. If you haven't seen my vlog where I talk about JB Fabrics, I'll link it below, because I love that I found a local fabric shop. I love that it's a small run family business that's been there for 50 years. And you know what? I love that when I went in the shop the other day, they recognised me. Don't often get those moments in life anymore. And because for those of us who live in big sort of anonymous places, it's nice sometimes to feel anonymous, but sometimes it's nice to know the people. And actually I was just chatting to them about, what do you think about this one? And we were getting the rolls out and talking about it. And it just makes it just fun as well. So I'll tell you now, I'm organising a shopping trip to JB Fabrics, and they very kindly said if there's enough of us, they'll especially open on a Sunday just for us. So it would only be us there. If you came to the Southern Social at the end of September, we were talking about this and I said I'd organise it. Well, good news, I've had a chat with them. If you haven't and you like the sound of it, that's great too. So what I'm going to do on the Southern Social on Instagram and in the Southern Social group on Facebook, and for people who want me to keep in contact with them via email, I'm going to send you 2 dates, like a poll, to let me know which you'd prefer. The one with the most people will do the first visit to that date, because although I don't need 100% numbers, I need an idea, because then they have said, depending on how many people come, they may shut the whole shop for us or not, and we need to make it worth their while if they're bringing staff in on a Sunday for us. So if you're interested, and it is in Slough, so you don't have to be in Bucks or near me to go, you can meet us there. So Slough is just off the M25. It's about junction 13 or 14, you can get to it. It's down the M4 as well, so there's lots of people. London, Surrey, loads of places where you can get to Slough within sort of less than an hour. So if you are interested in joining us for a shopping trip, it will be this side of the year, before the end of the year, but I will do one next year as well. So that was great to tell you that at the same time. It's sort of nice little one-show segue. I said I'd do fabric, but I didn't really, did I? Okay, let's do fabric. So I had some happy post. I know, because I was telling you about my fabric ban, wasn't I? So I decided to get some happy post. It was in the sale, and it was this striped jersey. It's definitely me, isn't it? So this is from Stitch and Ink, and I picked up this in the sale because I think this would make one of the nice twist fronted dresses. Not sure about a jumpsuit in stripes, but trying to plan what I'm going to do with the fabric when I buy it, but it was something like that, no, because it's just too good to resist, isn't it? And also Stitch and Ink had a bit of an offer on, so how could I resist the rainbow gingham? So this will probably become a shirt dress once I found the perfect pattern, which I'm getting closer to. Thank you for your suggestions for the perfect shirt dress pattern. So it was a remnant, so I've got 2 parts, but they're the same, and that doesn't matter because when you're doing like the sleeves or whatever. And then I grabbed in the remnant sale from Rainbow Fabrics this, which is pretty amazing. Look, it's got wolves on it and all sorts, and it's like a crepe, but like a viscous crepe. I thought that is a great fabric, isn't it? And I think it was like 3 or 4 meters of remnant for like £8 or something. So there we go, there's that. Okay, now let's get to the really good bit, which is the what have I been sewing while I've been away. Well, I popped a little picture on my community tab of this when it wasn't finished. So I'll hold it here, but I'll put pictures in and video. This is a self-drafted dress. So I've done sort of a little scoopy V-neck and sort of almost like a sort of fitted t-shirty top to here. I've done a puff sleeve with a cuff and then tiers, 3 tiers on the dress. And when I say tiers, there was nearly tiers to start with. I looked at a dress in my wardrobe that I really liked and looked at the fact that there was a small tier, bigger tier, and thought I'll replicate that because it looks so flattering on me. Did the first tier, and what I did, instead of gathering, because it's stretch fabric, I did the thing where you leave the under one or the upper one like the length it is and pull the other one so that it gathers like as when it lets go. It did not look good. I had to unpick it all, but I knew I needed to because it just wasn't right, and I'm so glad I did, because I then did gathering stitches on every layer. So there's a gathering stitch for where the first layer joins the bodice here, and then a gathering stitch here on this one, and you can see how much gather there is, and then a gathering stitch on the bottom frill, and again you can see how much. Oh my goodness, I need to look at getting a gathering foot. I know some people don't love a gather. I love a gather. And one day one child at school when I was still ahead said to me, why do you dress like a princess? And I said, because it makes me feel swishy. So I've had to do a lot of unpicking to get rid of the gathering that was exposed. But it's worth it. I'm really happy with the dress. It's really comfy. It feels exactly me when I put it on. And of course it is me too with this fabric. Pictures and videos coming in here. To self-draft it, what I did was I used the back bodice of the Westcliff dress, but you could use any back bodice that's like a nice plain fitted. And then I messed around with the front because I knew I didn't need any darts because it was a jersey fabric. Created my own neckline. The sleeves, I started with a sleeve that I knew was, I think it was the patina one, which is a good one with gather, and then just lengthened it and then made up the cuff myself. Gathering, once you've done a few gathers, you know how to do those yourself. If you don't, then do a pattern first that has them, and then you'll soon get the idea of how you can evolve them yourself. But I also made, because I used the block for that, a Westcliff dress. I've had this on my list for a while. I know Liz from The Baker That Sews, this is one of her favourite patterns, and Bex from Bex What Bex Sews did a brilliant review on her channel of the Westcliff dress, and she talked about whether to use the B or the D cup bodice and the different fit of it. Really helpful. Thank you, Bex. I really loved that. I really enjoyed the sew. So I made it in this fabric, which was a Rainbow Fabrics offer a while ago, I think. Now, quite interestingly, let's have a look at the Westcliff here. And then the Scirocco. It's quite similar, isn't it? Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my banana Scirocco with an undertop today because obviously it's now 12 degrees Celsius in the UK because it's October. Really love the sew. I lengthened the sleeve on the Westcliff and tapered it because we're in the Northern Hemisphere and we're quite away from the equator. So no point in having a short sleeve. So I did that. And I needed to shorten the bottom layer by about half, so that shows how tall a person it is drafted for. So I did the first skirt and then put that on and then measured how much of the second one I needed. It's a nice deep frill. I see exactly what Liz means about the way it feels. I love the way it fits. I can't tell you what my other half said. It was complimentary, but when I put it on, he said it made something look great. I'm not telling you what. And then you make a tie belt as well. I did watch, actually, the sewing bunny. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but she did a sew along and she hadn't got quite enough and she stitched the ties in. And I actually think I might do that in the future, even if I have enough fabric, because actually it is a little bit annoying having it separately. It has that risk of getting lost or falling off. I like the idea of stitching it on. But it's a lovely pattern, and I don't think the pictures on the front of the pattern, or when you first go onto the pattern on like the fold line or whatever, find a pattern company, I don't think you've done it justice. Maybe other people like that, but I think it is a way more fabulous dress than the fabric they chose to sew it up in. It's my own opinion. You know I love bright colours and all that pattern, but I was a bit meh when I saw it on there. But once I saw Liz's and then I saw Beck's and then I had a good look, and that's the great thing about Instagram, is have a good look at what other people's look like to help you decide. Because sometimes, and I know other people have said this about like the till in the buttons ones, and I know Adele talks about this on Sofa Serenity, sometimes the pattern picture puts you off, but actually when you see what other people create, it can be a really great pattern. So I really loved sewing that, and I've already got a plan for another one, but I'll tell you about that another time. Right, I want to say to you next, I found this quote the other day. If you saw episode 41, I talked about the fact that I was going to sew myself a pair of elasticated trousers because I wanted to wear them, because they made me feel nice. And actually, I'm trying to get out of this mindset of, is it flattering, that whole, I don't know, 90s, are you an apple, are you a pear, all of that business. And I saw a perfect quote about that, so I'm going to put it at the end of the vlog today. I might need to check with the lady if I can, but it just really spoke to me about the difference between, if we wear something that's supposedly flattering but it doesn't bring us joy, versus wearing something that brings us joy. You look better in it because you're happy in it and you swoosh in it or you move well in it. And I'm going to keep talking about that because I am on my way towards the big 5-0. I've got a couple of years to go, but I'm on my way. My body has changed in the last 10 years in ways I wasn't expecting. I've been on a journey, as I've mentioned before, and I want to dress for my own joy and for my own dopamine, happiness, and that's different for everyone. I love bright colours and all of that. She says wearing a black top, but and that's different for everyone. You might like all one colour style or more muted or whatever, but finding your style isn't about fitting some formula of flattering, and that's something I'm going to keep saying, I think. I want to ask you a question. Last episode, 41, which I did have to re-watch because it was a while ago to remember what I spoke about, which I rarely do because normally it feels all like a whole journey to me, but because it had been a while I had to watch it to sort of catch myself up on what I told you. I was able to film in the garden because the sun was out and it was 22 degrees versus today, 10 degrees colder, raining. But I realised the bird song was really loud in the vlog, and I wanted to ask you, did you like that? Did you find that distracting? Yeah, I'm just really interested because for me, it made me take a moment to realise how lucky I am to have that level of birdsong where I live, but would be interested in your thoughts in having background noise like that, and the fact that at one moment there was some cheering from a football ground, which by the way is at least a mile as the crow flies from where I live. Does it bother you? Do you mind? Do you like it? I'd be interested to know what you think. Right, so very soon is the virtual social. If you want to know more about it, there is a specific video where I talk about it, which I'll link below as well. As I mentioned at the the start of today's vlog, lots of tickets have gone. There's still room for you if you want to come, and we will do breakout rooms. If you want to come but are nervous or worried, just let me know. I'll make it work for you. And that's the same with the in-person. I'm full in November, and I think I've only got one place left when I'm recording this in December. But what was really interesting in the webinar we did the other week was talking about helping to make sure everyone feels they can come, even if they're nervous or worried. I want to make that possible for you. So if there's a reason why you're not coming and you want to reach out to me at, on my email, which is southernsewcial@gmail.com, please do. I was going to say a woman of the world, but I think that's not a very flattering comment. I am an experienced person who has lived my own life journey and also worked with many families, children, adults in my career, and I am sure that I can find a way to help you to achieve something that you want to, because that might be you come to the virtual first to get to know me and Christine and other people. It might be you don't live near me and you want me to find someone that you can connect with at a social near you. That's why I set up the social directory, to do that. It might be you'd like to come and have a look one week and one session and not stay, but just pop in and say hi or have a look through the window. That's okay too. It might be you don't want to come the whole time. I'll tell you a little something about myself. I find social situations where I don't know people and having to do small talk the most stressful thing. If I am in a situation where I can talk about something I know about, I'm like this. So let's say I went to a wedding that wasn't like people I knew. Let's say I went with my other half and it was people from work he knew. It doesn't mean I don't do it, but what I do is make sure I have what I call an exit plan, which means that we either know what time we're leaving, or we've agreed like on a this is how we'll discuss it, or we've got to go on somewhere else. Sometimes people are surprised about that by me, because I can come across as very confident, but that's because I'm putting myself in situations where I know what I'm talking about, or I know what's happening, or I know the plan. So if there's any barrier of any kind that you personally want to overcome, and this is not to say you should, but if you do let me know, because I'm sure we can make something work. Let's talk about the cutting out. Right, so you might think, hang on a minute, you've been away nearly 2 weeks and you've sewn 2 things, well 3 if you count the waistcoat. But what I decided to do instead, I tidied both my rooms as well, was to do a proper like big batch cutting session. So I got all like the fabric, the plan, the fabric, the pattern all out, and then many things that I've told you I was going to do. Got out my cutting board, which by the way is a bit of wood that I bought from a DIY shop, and lay it on the floor and cut and cut and cut and cut. And I've got these zippy bags that I know a lot of people have got, so the pattern and the fabric is cut out. Well, I decided to do that because otherwise I'd make such a mess. Then I sew, then I tied it, and I was like, let's try it a different way. And also it worked for me because it was a really chilly day and the room we was in, we had the fire on, and so I was snuggly while I was cutting out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Think I've cut enough stuff out? Let me check. That's definitely it. So let's have a sneak peek. Okay, they're all going to fall on the floor. Hang on. Right, here we go. So number 1, I've got to work out. I put stickers on and they peeled off, so I've got to fix that. This is the Winter in London trousers by Seasons of Ease. It's a fabric that I found in a charity shop. It's a plaid. I don't know if you can see the plaid there. That's it. Not my favourite, but it's fall. So they're cut out. This one is the Closet Core Sepia pants that I told you I would do again because I love wearing them. I've got 2 pairs already, thanks Christine, in an apple green, really soft fabric from Abercon. In here, I'm not going to tell you what it is because this will be in the long sleeves one, but it's the pink corduroy I bought from Abercon when I went on holiday to Wales, so you're going to have to wait to find out what that's going to be. In here is the fabric I showed you before that I bought on my first trip to JB Fabrics, which is this gorgeous fabric, and this is going to include some amazing extra details that I planned, but I'm not telling you what it is because that will be in tomorrow's long sleeves. In here is some fabric that I think I showed you that I got from, I might not have done, from Adele's Sofa Serenity's D Stash. It's like, I don't know, it's like a poly viscose, it's really soft. Look at that. Not telling you what it is because it'll be a long sleeve one. In here is the long awaited Marley cardigan cut out in this blue sweatshirt, a blue purple sweatshirt in that I got from Abercon ages ago. No, first Pound Fabrics ages ago. But I've told you what this is, but in the long sleeve 23 tomorrow, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to make it more interesting. I've done the short Marlow, and in here it is going to be in the long sleeve. You might recognise this fabric because this was the one that I made something before and ended up with a happy accident with the sleeveless tank top. So I'm not going to tell you what's in there, but it's going to be a long sleeve tomorrow. So lots cut out, lots of things that I said I was going to do in my autumn plans, lots of fabric you've seen before getting used. Thumbs up for that. Whew, my goodness, I've just realised I've done over half an hour. Well, I hope you enjoyed having me back. I'm, as you can see, delighted to be back, and I'll be back again tomorrow with all of the details about that. And then I'll be back into my routine and my schedule. So I'm sticking to my Tuesday, Wednesdays being sort of an interesting vlog about something, whether it's like making a pumpkin or tips on vlogging. And then Fridays or Sundays will always be my sewing update. I've got in my plans, I've got a autumn sewing update with the rail planned in, because I know you love the rail and I love it too because it helps me really think about what I'm doing, and I've had some amazing comments on that. Antonia in California, I haven't forgotten about your brilliant comment, and I'm going to use that in that autumn update because I loved what you said. So last of all, tell me if you like the background sounds when I'm out in the garden or whatever. Please, if you want to come to the first virtual social, grab yourself a ticket. I'll put the link below because it's nearly here. More dates coming soon for real and virtual. Christine and I've got it all sorted. Oh, reminds me. The virtual social, we've worked out how to do a swaps table too, because what Christine and I wanted to do for our followers who are too far away to come to our real ones, we wanted everything from the raffle to the swaps table. So if you're coming or thinking about coming, we've worked out a way to make a virtual swaps table too. And also get ready for tomorrow's episode, because tomorrow I'll tell you lots of detail about sewing with long sleeves. I'm really going to talk to you about that, and it will include how to add detail to them as well, so how to hack the pattern. And don't forget, also let me know if there's a particular pattern you'd like me to do a focused video on, like I've done the Summer in New York dress and the patina and the jersey. Let me know if there's one you'd love me to do. And I'm holding my breath right now because the new seasons of East Dress is coming out really soon, and Ruth of Seamstress Ruth on Instagram has told me I'm gonna love it. When's it coming? When's it coming? So anyway, lots to come. Lovely to be back. Lovely to have you watching. Please give me a like, a thumbs up, a subscribe, a comment, all of those things, because I love it and I love interacting with you. And I'll see you again very soon.